Hello, 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 and welcome to our first live stream of our new rebranded show. So, welcome to the Thrive After 45, the podcast where we redefine the significance of you for you, by you, because of you. My name is Denise Drinkwalter. I am a midlife renewal coach, and I'm here to help women embrace their power, their purpose, and potential. This show is your space to explore what is possible when you prioritize you. Through inspiring conversations, expert insights, and real stories, we'll uncover how to navigate transitions, rediscover joy, and thrive inside and out. It's time to let go of guilt and fully embrace the life that is waiting for you. This is the Thrive After 45 podcast, and it is your time to thrive for you, by you, because of you. And what an incredible honor and privilege it is to welcome Dr. Lisa Petty to the very first episode of our Thrive After 45. I know, I'm so excited. And we're Canadian. It's like just meant to be, right?
So good.
Dr. Lisa is a spiritual life coach and feminine leadership mentor who has spent over 2 decades helping women reclaim their well-being. She began her journey as a holistic nutritionist, guiding thousands through television, radio, and coaching. Her passion for understanding what truly holds women back led her to earn a PhD in social and cultural health, where she explored the barriers that prevent women from prioritizing themselves. There is no better person on this earth to start our new branding. Lisa's journey didn't stop there. Following her own spiritual awakening, she immersed herself in neo-shamanic energy medicine, blending science and spirituality to create, I can't wait to hear more about this, the Wisdom Protocol, a transformative approach that helps women reconnect with their authenticity, break free from burnout and self-doubt, and step into their true power. She is the author of 2 books, including Forget About Having It All, The Midlife Woman's Guide to Creating the Life You Really Want. Like, hands up, let's go. Which combines her PhD research with her personal journey of self-discovery. Through her writing, coaching, and media presence, Lisa has impacted thousands of lives, and she continues to inspire women to redefine success, leading with confidence and joy. And on top of it all, Lisa is embracing one of the most beautiful roles in her life, being a new grandmother, further deepening her commitment to healing the world for future generations. It is perfect to have you on our show today. It's such a great opportunity for me to meet you and share your wisdom with others. So thank you for being with us today, Dr. Lisa.
I'm so excited. I didn't realize I was on episode 1. So hey.
Oh yeah, the new branding. You are, and it's perfect in so many ways. I want to jump right in, and I really would love to unpack what you have created, and I believe you refer to it as the Wisdom Protocol. Can you share with us how this came to be and dive in and share?
I'll give you a little bit of backstory to make it
Absolutely.
make sense. So,
Sure.
as you mentioned, I was a holistic nutritionist and a well-being educator. I did a lot of television, radio, the people who show up and teach about different approaches to health. And I had my own clients, and I've always worked with women because my philosophy is if you can heal the woman, you can heal the family, right? So, being essentially lazy, I'm being efficient, right? I just get the one person who can fix everything. So, as I got older, of course, my clientele got older, and I started to notice that women, even when they came to me and they said, I have this issue, this is what I would like to do. This is the result I want to get. We would create a plan together, and they wouldn't do it. And so we would get back together, and I would say, so how did it go with, let's say, something like simple, like drinking more water? How'd you do drinking more water? And they'd say, yeah, I didn't do it. And they would explain why they didn't do it. And I'd be like, okay, can we try next time? And this just kept happening over and over and over again with all kinds of different women that I was working with. So I had a crisis of confidence myself as a nutrition and health coach. I'm like, what's going on here? At the same time that my son was starting to look at university brochures, right? And so I could see, my last baby was leaving home. The nest was going to be empty. And I was having this professional crisis. I decided to go to school, to grad school, to understand behavior change. So that's what the master's degree was, understanding what influences women's eating behavior. And then the research bug bit. And then I thought, well, what gets in the way of women looking after their self-care? And so I researched that, which we will talk about for a second. But then I immediately finished that, and was laid off from my job. And I'm like, what's this now? And so that set me off on what is the point of this? Who am I anymore? What am I going to do for the next several decades of my life? Which led me to shamanism, which, for those who don't know what it isn't a religion. It's a spiritual practice like meditation is, or like being in nature is. It's that simple. That's what shamanism is. Really, it's about being mindful, connecting with nature, going back to what is real. And to me, what is real is standing on the ground. That we know is real. Everything else that's happening in our lives, it's made up, right? We give it meaning, right? So I went through my own sort of spiritual transformation in that process. And then I just watched as my two worlds went like this. And the brain and the research and everything I studied came together with what is real. And the Wisdom Protocol was born. So the Wisdom Protocol is about women stepping into what we know to be true, but we've allowed ourselves to be talked out of, or to forget, or we were never encouraged to develop these things anyway. That's part of it. And it's also fed by science, because women, particularly women from the 80s onward, we were raised with this idea that we can have it all, right? Is this ringing bells? Right.
Oh yeah.
Have it all means do it all.
Do it all. Right? I was going to say, there's another part. Do it all to have it all. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that is very masculine driven energy. And so what does that mean if you're not familiar with masculine and feminine energy? Masculine energy is the energy that sends you out into the world to conquer, to compete, to win. It's about logic. It's about building. Right. And these are important things. I'm not knocking them. Right. We need them. Right. We need them, and we need them in ourselves.
Yeah.
But we lean so hard into those masculine energies. And we were told, hey, there's no crying in boardrooms. There's no room for your emotion here. Leave your intuition at the door. There's no place for that to be successful in this world. And so we ignored it. We let it go. We were like, okay, well, right. So the feminine is the intuition. It is the knowing because you know. It's the sensing the energy in the room. It is the understanding of collaboration and community and nurturing and caring. It is not weak. I mean, as creators, we are the most powerful, we're the most powerful source of creation in the universe, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yep. Yep.
And everyone knows there's nothing more fierce than a mama bear, right? So it's not that the feminine is weak, but it was not given a place for the last 40 years in our culture. And so the Wisdom Protocol is about honoring that. It is about giving ourselves permission to step back into those parts of ourselves that we have forgotten about, that we shushed, that we let atrophy, and remembering who we really are, all the parts of who we are, and not just trying to succeed in a man's world as a man would do it, but creating a world for women that honors all parts of ourselves. And I shouldn't say for women, I mean, women creating this new version of how to be successful in the world. And honestly, harmonizing those masculine and feminine energies that are so important. Both of them are so important, but we have so, made the masculine a priority that we do have an imbalance. And we can look out the window and see it. It's so obvious, right? This toxic fighting, backstabbing, name calling, it's become toxic, right? It's become so competitive now, it's toxic, and we need to rein that back in, embrace healthy masculine, and support healthy feminine. So that's where it came from. What it is it's a 5 elements. It's not steps.
Okay.
It's 5 elements of becoming who you are.
Okay. Yeah.
And to make it really simple, I love acronyms. So of course it has an acronym.
Yeah. Of course.
And the acronym is GRACE.
Okay.
So we'll spell out what each of them are. So the G is for growth.
Yeah.
And if a woman is at a place where she's experiencing what I call the soul stirrings, you're starting to question, who am I now? Why am I here? What is the point? I don't think I can do this for 2 or 3 more decades. Right? Something is calling. And when something is calling, then we have a choice to make. We're either going to ignore it or we're going to step into it. So the G is sort of just like that bucket of growth, just acknowledging that that's where we are. Things are going to change now. Then the R is for release. So everybody thinks that growth is all about taking on more, and there's an element of letting go. So we really need to let go of those things that don't serve us, those things that no longer align with who we are or who we want to become. It could be a lot of things. It could be a job. It could be a marriage. It could be a relationship. It could be where you live. Most of the time it involves beliefs, behaviors, habits, thought habits particularly. So there's a lot of letting go that happens in this growth process, right? And again, these are not steps. They're elements. And I like to think of it like a cha-cha, right? There's 2 steps forward and then a step back and then 2 steps forward and then
I
a
love
step
that.
back. So we have growth, we have release, and then we have alignment. And alignment is when we choose. Because 40 years ago, when people said, hey, you can have it all, nobody ever said, hey, honey, what do you want? Right?
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
here's time to align with what do you want? So it means asking that really important question. What do I want? And who do I want to be? And how do I want to feel? And answering all of those questions and then aligning with what you need to align with to allow that. Right? So that's alignment. Then C is for co-creation. So again, I said that the women are the divine creators. That's what we do. We create, whether or not it's making a baby, we are the divine creators. And that's why I think when we get to menopause, our hormones change, our biology changes, things change about us, but we still have this urge, this really powerful urge to create. And I think that is the impetus for the stirrings, right? Like what am I going to do? What am I going to bring into the world? And the reason I call it co-creation is because in the divine feminine, you don't do it by yourself, right? You do it in response to what is needed, where you see the gap, where you see your gifts being best used, where where you align with your intuition and you allow your intuition to guide you, where you do connect with a higher power, whether you want to call it your higher self, God, source, the universe, nature, whatever it is. There's this
Mhm.
understanding that there is a connection between everyone and all things.
Right.
And we don't live in a vacuum. And so everything is this sense of co-creation. Again, this dance, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then finally, the final element is embodiment. And so we've all had this experience where we set out to achieve a goal, to change something in our lives, to change some aspect, change a relationship, change our physical fitness, whatever it is. And there is resistance outside of ourselves. Someone says, yeah, but I liked you better thin, overweight. You were more fun when you ate pizza every Friday night, or you were more fun when you were drinking. Or there's always this sort of testing of our
Mhm.
resolve, right? So that's part of it, this sense of how do you move through the world being this version of yourself that you have created. And then also continuing through this process of, as I said, like it's one step forward, two steps back. So you go out into the world as this new version of yourself, but the growth is still happening. There is still going
Right.
to be more change. And then you're going to see, oh, this is the next evolution I want to bring on, right? So it's this constant embodying this vision that you've created. So that is grace, and that is the wisdom protocol.
It's amazing. As I'm listening to you, I am smiling deep within my soul because I see what you have put together is absolutely co-created.
Mm,
And beyond that, there is absolute certainty that we as women in our midlife years were destined for all that you are speaking of because there's no others on earth earlier that could come to the wisdom protocol in such a way because life needs to lead to the point of being able to go, oh my gosh, my life is changing. And that stirring you speak of, I don't know that it exists other than within us as the women in the
mm,
world. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just getting chills having this conversation with you because I'm like, this is the divine work ultimately. And
Yes.
are we heeding the call for ourselves first, for you, by you, because of you? And as
Mhm.
you referenced, we're all interconnected. There is a connectedness amongst between all life. And so, what a beautiful gift we have that's not something I've ever thought of in that light before.
Yes, it's so powerful. And although we have spiritual awakenings throughout our lives, there is something different. I mean, we get to this stage. We can be the elders saying, "Oh, no, 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 this is different." Right? We're not 20
Yes.
going, "Oh, but you don't understand." No, I do. I do.
Yes.
And I know that in 20 years I'll look at this version of me and go, "Oh, honey." Right? "Oh, honey." Um, but it is different. And I think that sense of urgency that we're feeling, the
Yeah.
stirrings, and when that turns up, it turns up because you're not listening, right?
I
It
love
turns
that.
up. That urgency is part of it. That is your purpose saying, I need you to do this. I need you to
Yes.
do this, or you're not
Yes.
going to be well. And I don't mean you're gonna,
Right.
something bad is gonna happen, but you
Of
are
course.
not going to feel peace or joy
Exactly.
or whatever it is your North Star emotion is. You're not, I won't let you get there
Yeah.
because you're ignoring this.
It's what did they say? Louder in the back? Speak louder for those in the back. You are in the back row. Come on forward. It's your turn. It's your
Yes,
turn, sister. Let's go.
yes,
Let's go. I love
absolutely.
this. Such an incredible conversation. I've had so many chills just listening to your wisdom. And I love how you talk about the dance because I look at it as the dance of life
Mhm.
and you dance with grace.
Mm,
So
yes.
Thank you so much. I know we could go on for hours, so that will mean we'll have to have you back.
No, I'm happy to come.
We are not finished this conversation. We have just planted a seed. Now we get to come back and water it and fertilize it and bring it forth for the multitude of women who
How
are here
divinely
to experience.
feminine is that?
Right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience after listening to this and thinking, well, she's talking about me? Is she? How could
Mm.
that be? Because I don't see myself this way. Is there
Mm.
anything that you could share with our audience that will make them go, this is me, and I do want to explore this further?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is if you're listening to this podcast, this is for you.
Hmm,
You were called here. The second thing I would
beautiful.
love to share is I will invite you to trust what you know.
Hmm,
And we've had 40 years of experience being told we don't do that here. It's time for women, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, to trust what we know and also trust that, yes, we are worth it.
hmm.
And not only that, there's a lot of crazy going on in the
Yep,
world right now. And a
sure.
lot of women are struggling and they're like, I don't know. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I can do anything. I don't feel like I make a difference. I'm telling you, the difference that each individual woman can make is to step into her power now. We
Now.
need the divine feminine activated now, or else everything that you're imagining could happen could happen.
Yeah.
We need the moms, the grandmothers, the elders. We need to stand in our power. And the only way you can do that is to know what your power is, right? You
Yeah.
have to know what your power is.
Yeah.
And
And that, go ahead.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say, you won't feel as if you're not doing anything.
Mhm.
You're going to be doing the most important thing.
Yeah. And I would love to add that work is all about you,
Yes.
not about what the results are that you're looking for. You have that North Star that you spoke of. That's important. But to embody, you talked about the E for embodiment, the alignment. Those are the key pieces. And it is, I talk to women so much about, well, isn't that being egocentric if I'm thinking about myself? Right? That is the one of the biggest hurdles. Like you talked about, did you drink your water? Well, didn't quite get to it. Yeah. Well, it is time, and we are giving more than permission. We are giving support to move you to do what is right for you, by you, because of you. And it doesn't mean you have to jump in the deep end.
No.
Dr. Lisa has got a brilliant protocol she's created. And I love it's not step by step, because that's a scripted, and we aren't scripted people. People are human. We ebb and flow. We go with the things that are happening within ourselves. And so tuning into that is paramount, right?
100%.
Yeah. What a privilege to share space and time with you. We will
Oh,
have you
and
back.
also this has been so delightful.
Thank you so much. Those of you who are watching on replay, please, please, please put comments in, ask questions, reach out to Dr. Lisa. In the show notes, there are ways to connect with her. And thank you so much for being here and opening up our brand new, I'm calling it a podcast because I am moving it that way. Right now, it's our live stream. So thank you so much for showing us how to thrive after 45 and beyond. And we will be in touch. Take care of
Beautiful.
yourselves and have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.